So my journey begins. It is 58 degrees. It is 11:15 a.m. It is Thursday, May 11th, 2017, and I am finally underway on the road to Frankfort, Kentucky, which is the first stop on this journey. I am driving to Kentucky to take the written portion of my Kentucky licensing exam Friday morning. And after I finish the exam, I'll be hitting the road and driving over to just outside a little town called Grottoes, Virginia, just on the fringe of Shenandoah National Park. And that will start my either 6 or 6.5 day hike through the southern district wilderness area of Shenandoah. Been looking forward to this for quite a while. Then when I get back out of the park and hopefully find my car intact, where I'm going to leave it on the side of a fire road as I enter the park, I'll be hopping in the car and driving to Charlotte, West Virginia, and staying overnight in a hotel there, getting cleaned up in order to take my oral exam for licensure in West Virginia on Friday the 19th. So that's the whole journey, and then obviously driving home. Going to be a rainy drive and a rainy start to the hike. Woo-wee! This is something else, man. This is some fun driving. It's probably going to make for some really fun hiking. Well, I made it. It's 6:30 p.m. on, I guess it's still Friday the 12th. And I am on the fire road here, just off the main drag here. And I'm gonna walk up a little ways and look at the trailhead. And let's see if that will come out. Furnace Trail, 0.1 miles. Alright, so haven't had to go far, but here we are at the Furnace Mtn Trailhead and heading in. Interestingly, there was no sign-in book at the trailhead. I got water, and now I'm starting to climb some elevation here, heading up to the intersection with the actual short trail that goes up to Furnace Mountain, where I'm hoping to camp tonight. So it's raining, but it's not too bad. The trees are giving me pretty good cover. Pretty soon the trail opens up pretty wide up here. Some very cool flowers up here, and if it wasn't socked in with clouds, I'm guessing I'd be getting some views very shortly, but right now it's just going to be gray and wet. So this is kind of cool. Not yet up at the trail junction, but got a nice opening here and got one of these big rock fields here. The trail so far is basically a straight uphill climb with some open spots like this where you get a nice vista. Rainy though it may be. And then I continue to climb. Should be getting pretty close to the trail junction that will head up to the summit of Furnace Mountain, but so far soggy, wet. Very thankful to see this trail marker. So now we summit and camp. But so that's where I'm going. That's where I came from. And that's what awaits tomorrow.
Okay, so day one, parked the car here on the fire road and then hiked up this segment of Furnace Mountain Trail and then this little piece of trail that goes up to Furnace Mountain summit, and right on the summit there is a campsite, which is kind of cool.
Well, good morning. It is very early on day 2. It is Saturday. Lessons learned last night. I brought the wrong sleeping bag. Note to self,
below 50 degrees, bring the down bag. I froze my ass off last night in this snug pack summer weight bag. I was too optimistic trying to cut the weight. So this is what camp ended up more or less looking like last night, set up in the dark. Actually, I was just fiddling with the tarp because I couldn't quite get it to hang right, so I'm still working on it. It is foggy and wet and cold, so my poncho set up as a little rain shelter here. This chair, while a luxury item, is going to be probably my favorite item on this entire trip. Quite certain of it at this point. Well, it took a cube of wet fire to really get it going with all this very wet fuel, but I think I will always carry a little supply of wet fire. But it works. Making my coffee. Looking forward to it. There have been some peaks of sun, but not a whole lot. But I'm going to head out to the overlook soon and show you why I bothered hiking up here in the rain, so that I could have a cup of coffee with a nice view. But solo stove works even the day after torrential rain. So, not bringing anything else, guys. This is it. Okay, so the whole reason I hiked up here in the middle of the rain yesterday was basically so I could sit right here in my little chair and enjoy the view. Now, the view is very hazy right now, but it'll burn off. So I'm going to sit here and enjoy my coffee while watching the smoky haze down across the mountains here. Well, I took my time having a nice leisurely breakfast, packing up nice and slow. You saw the view that I enjoyed, but it's noon now on Saturday, and I'm about to head off on the next leg, which is going to be going up Treyfoot Mountain, I believe, and then going all the way across the ridge, getting to the Payne Run Valley area, which is where I'll camp tonight. So it's noon now. I think it's about 8 miles I got to go, so I should be able to go nice leisurely pace and have plenty of daylight. It's cloudy and misty, but not raining, so I'll take it. So goodbye to campsite number 1. I have done my best to leave no trace. One nice thing about it being cool, it's about 50 degrees maybe at the most, 48, 50. No bugs. Haven't even had to slather on any bug spray yet. My clothes are treated with my permethrin, but if I see mosquitoes, I'll worry about putting on some bug spray. But right now, not too shabby. All right, well, I will concentrate on not tripping and check in a little bit later. Happy trails. This whole rock field covered with lichen is kind of cool as I work my way back down to the next part of the trail. Kind of cool how this part of the trail has edging, moss edging along the trail as I come down Furnace Mountain. Kind of cool. Alright, I am back at the trail junction. So I just came back the 5 miles, half a mile from the summit of Furnace Mountain. This is the trail I came up yesterday, which is the Furnace Mountain Trail. And we are going to continue now on the Furnace Mountain Trail, heading up that way. Oh yeah. Well, tried to get the cool red bird. I'm not quite sure what he was. Where'd he go? You hear him still, but where did he fly off to?
Anybody know what that is? Kind of the usual East Coast green tunnel. Coming from there, coming down, all decline at this point. Other than birds, no sign of wildlife yet. Well, if we can't find fauna, we can at least find some flora. Lots of, I don't know what this is. Not sure if that's columbine or what that is. Went through a whole section of lots and lots of mountain laurel in this forest. It's the never-ending uphill climb. Holy smoke. I've been climbing and climbing and climbing so far all day. I'm sweating a little bit too, even though it's cold out here. But that's me. I sweat. I have to stop and get something to eat here soon, but I was hoping to get to the trail junction before dropping my pack and taking a break, but not there yet. So, made it to the trail junction. So I've been coming up the Furnace Mountain Trail. I've come 2.3 miles since the last trail junction, 3.4 miles from the car, plus the extra mile, up and back the summit. Now we are changing direction and we're going to go Treyfoot Mountain Trail, and we've got 4.1 miles to go for the day. I may do the summit just to check it out. Why not? I'm here. Wow, it is really chilly when I stand still. Just in a very sweaty t-shirt. So, anyway, I'm going to drop my pack here, take a little break for a few minutes. Well, that's officially the summit, but there is no view from this summit. So, 3,380 feet, how about that? And 3.8 miles till I make it to Payne's Run Trail. Well, not much of a view, but a little bit of a view out this way. Walking across the top of Treyfoot Mountain on the Treyfoot Mountain Trail. Well, I almost forgot what the sun looked like. And I don't know if it'll come out too well, but out there are my first glimpses of Skyline Drive, which I will cross over tomorrow. Right now, I'm descending through an ocean of green toward Payne's Run. Well, we are not alone. Somebody else is using this trail. There's one other couple that I passed behind me. Apparently, there's a bear somewhere in the neighborhood. Still no sign of the bear. Seems like the kind of place where you'd find a bear, doesn't it? There are two fairly fresh piles of scat on the trail a while back, but no sign of any ursine friends. Yeah, like I said, my little chair there, that's coming on every trip. I will try this Mountain Smith one that's sitting at home for me, but I mean, that thing is the number one piece of gear that is making me feel comfortable when I take breaks. So break time is over. Gotta hit the pack, get the pack back on, and finish the rest of the trek down to Payne's Run. So that's where I'm off to. I took a break here for a little bit, had a little snack. Actually made a phone call to Deb. Yes, there is self-service in the middle of the wilderness area of Shenandoah Valley, or Shenandoah National Park. Go figure. All right, I gotta go. Bye. This is kind of a cool section of trail here with this rock cliff. archway out. Kind of cool. I'm just really descending a pretty sharp incline or decline, and I'm way down now in this sharp valley. It's almost canyon-like, but you can't really see it too well through the trees. But it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. The light is really cool. The wind blowing through the treetops. The treetops are way the heck up because of the steep slope sides. Welcome to Payne's Run, I think. I'm at the bottom. That's the first water since Madison's Run on the fire road where I parked. So I took 2 liters there, and I've been working off that 2 liters since then. Oh, there's my friend the hermit thrush. Actually, I heard an owl a few minutes ago, which is really kind of cool when I was up high. Big old hoot owl sound. All right, here is the trail split. So I have just come from Treyfoot Mountain Trail and Treyfoot Mountain Summit, and I am now going to hit Payne's Trail that away. Let's go find it. I'm guessing I gotta cross the run, and it looks like my blazes are turning from blue to yellow. So, Payne's Run is an old logging road or fire road, so it's wide and flat, which is going to make tomorrow a lovely leisurely day as I walk my way all the way up to Skyline Drive. I will be walking along Payne's Run, crisscrossing it multiple times, if I remember my map correctly. So let's go find a campsite. Sweet. I found a little side trail, decided to follow it, and I found me a set of established campsites. Kind of cool, with the sound of rushing water just over there. Obviously an illegal fire ring right here, since there are no fires allowed in Shenandoah. Not a good thing. All right, so did a little bit better job tonight hanging the hammock. Don't think I'll leak tonight. Got a nice spot. Got my head a little bit lower than my feet this time, which hopefully will make things work better. I'll let you know. All right, now that's what I'm talking about. This is a camp. I'm not gonna want to leave tomorrow. Here, I got my front porch set up right here with my chair. I'm gonna set up my stove under there. I'm gonna cook there. Showed you already my abode, all set up for the night. Chilling at camp here. Had a delicious dinner of beef stroganoff with noodles. It was actually pretty good. We hit the spot after a long day of hiking. I've made a mess of my home for the moment. I exploded my pack. I gotta pick everything up and put it away, but charging up my DeLorme, and I was just charging the camera too, but I felt like making another last little clip of the day. So today was the first full day out here in Shenandoah. So I started on Furnace Mountain, dried everything out, so I didn't get started on the trail until about noon. And then from there, I made a fairly long, slow, leisurely hike down to here. My knee is bothering me a little bit, partly because my ego got the better of me and I was hiking in front of a couple that was coming up behind me, and I guess I just kind of was going too fast, especially downhill, and I'm paying for it a little bit, so I'm hoping I can sleep that off and feel better tomorrow. Might put the knee brace on tomorrow and see how that goes. I'm going to dig sleeping in this campsite here with the sound of the running by. Should be pretty cool. I'm going to wear multiple layers tonight so that I don't freeze my ass off. So I'm going to wear my fleece and my insulated jacket now that it's dry. It was wet last night, so I couldn't do it. I'll wear my beanie, wear my merino wool long johns, and I might go with 2 pairs of socks tonight. But actually, it's not going to be, I don't think, as cold tonight as it was last night. Man, it was chilly last night with all that rain. But I will at least have 2 pairs of socks with me, just in case.
Day 2, came back down off Furnace Mountain summit, hiked Furnace Mountain summit to the junction with Treyfoot Mountain Trail, and then went across the ridge of Treyfoot Mountain, and then down this descent to Payne's Run Trail, and camped along Payne's Run Trail on day 2, or on night 2.
Hello. Hit 2:21 p.m. and you've just finished putting your pack on and fully breaking down camp, you probably don't feel like hiking today. But I really wanted to lay low and enjoy this campsite and take my time, and that's what I did. So it's 2:21 and I'm about to head over to Payne's Run Trail and start my 3-point-something miles up to Skyline Drive. And it's going to be an interesting day. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be a very good day for keeping my feet dry, but it's an easy trail, very big and wide, so much so that a couple of people on horseback just came by, heading up the trail ahead of me. So, gonna get my feet wet. Sure, just after I got my socks dry for the first time since I got here. Oh well, here we go. Well, apparently some people like the fact that there are horses on the trail. Mmm, delicious. Well, fox maybe, I'm guessing. We are not alone. That's what you call a work ethic. I guess that would be your proverbial dung beetle, taking advantage of what horses leave behind on the trail. But look at that sucker work, man. Wonder how far he's got to go. gotten very steep and I'm moving away from Payne's Run. And if I remember my map right, that means I'm making the final climb here to Skyline Drive. So I'm guessing that's what's coming up here real soon. And I'm gonna guess I'll have cell reception and I'll call my mom and wish her a happy Mother's Day. Because I'm a good son. Well, I have never been so happy to see a junction as I am right now. And that last that last stretch of Payne's Run Trail is all straight up. It was exhausting. I was down to a crawl by the time I got here. So next up is a stretch of the Appalachian Trail as I head over to Jones Run Trail. Well, first I'm going to go drop my pack. Here I am at, oh look, got a little survey, geological survey. Cool, huh? 2,321 feet of elevation. Alright, I've crossed the road here, and now we're heading on the Appalachian Trail. There's been a whole lot of foot traffic coming by while I was taking my little break here at Black Rock Gap, but so I will not be alone for this segment of the journey. My God, it keeps going up. At exactly this spot on the Appalachian Trail, I've run out of all energy. So I'm trying to finish eating this Pro Bar to get a little bit of something in my bloodstream. Because this keeps going up forever. It's got to be heading to the top of that ridge. I got to be close. I need some flat. It's been all uphill today. According to my Fitbit, no, I'll give you the stats later, but it's going to be a lot of flights of stairs. All right, I take back every bit of whining that I've done today. Want to know why? I'll tell you why. This made it worthwhile. I was foolish enough to climb up there. Don't tell anyone. There was another guy here, so I felt a little bit secure that if I broke my leg, I wouldn't be totally alone up here. It's going at 6 p.m. right now. This is what happens when you start your hike at 2:30. That is quite something. Man, that's a lot of rocks. A lot of rocks. Just below the summit here. Spectacular. Mercifully, it's all downhill now. Woohoo! Uphill all day to Black Rock Summit. which was very cool, I gotta say. Highlight of the day. Now it's downhill, and I'm assuming it'll continue to be downhill. Haven't yet made it to the trail junction with Jones Run, but should be another half mile or so up the way here. So soon. Sun is getting low in the sky, but I should have enough time to find a place to camp once I find a water source. There's a deer around here somewhere on this trail, and I see a junction up ahead here. Could this be my trail junction? Okay, this has got to be my trail marker, I'm thinking. Goes down steeply. Looks promising. Yep, Jones Run Trail. Down that way. Made it. And now we're going to drop some serious altitude and go find some water. It's funny, each section of woods has its own feel to it. I don't know if it'll really show up on video, but coming down hill here towards the Jones Run, it's kind of lusher, it's greener. Fern is covering the whole forest floor. It's kind of cool. A couple of seconds ago I flushed out a female grouse. I forgot to mention the first morning on, I guess it would have been Saturday morning, I woke up to that sort of subsonic drumming sound that the male grouse does. It was kind of cool. Listened to him for a while when I was sitting in my hammock, listening to the rainfall. Well, I made it to the falls. I'll get more footage tomorrow. It's late. I gotta find a place to camp. There's a bunch of guys camped in a spot that I thought I could take, but I'll find something.
Day 3, hiked Payne's Run Trail up to Skyline Drive, and then a segment of the Appalachian Trail till we get to Jones Run Trail here, and then hike down to the first set of falls along Jones Run and camp just above the falls.
Well, good morning. It is Monday, day 4. Wait till I show you where I hung this hammock last night. Man, last night was something else. It was getting late. I was really, really tired. According to my Fitbit, I'd done 23,000 steps or something like that, which isn't that impressive until you add in that I did 191 flights of stairs. There was a lot of up and down yesterday. My knee was killing me. My hip was killing me. So, coming down to Jones Run's Falls here, which you can hear probably in the background there. And by the time I got down here, I was just really trudging along trying to find an established campsite, and the only campsite I could find was taken. There was a whole group of guys up on off the trail. So I kept trudging a little while longer, got down to the bottom of the falls and said, you know what, I'm not going to find an established campsite. So doing my best to leave no trace and do as little damage to the ecosystem as I can by walking off trail, well, I'll show you in a minute.
The falls are all down there, and the trail is down there too. And I came up this hill and set up camp on the side of the hill. Found 2 trees that would work and made it my home for the night. I'm gonna guess about 50 degrees, not much more than that. It's about 8:30 in the morning on Monday. And I'm trying to get a slightly earlier start today. I'm really tired though. One thing I'm learning on this trip is that I'm very out of shape. So I gotta do this a lot more often. Alright, coffee awaits. There's my stealth camp from down on the trail. Not bad, eh? You barely know I was there. And then this is my filling zone. Nice fresh water running from all over the place. Very restful day so far. About 10:40 in the morning. My goal is to be on the trail by noon, which should be no problem. Alright, so it's 12:18, close enough. This is not some military operation, but other than some downtrodden stinging nettles, and believe me, they gave as good as they got, you're never going to know I was here. Alright, I disturbed the leaf matter a little bit, but I'm up top here. No one's going to know. I don't even know if you can hear me, but I was actually camped above Jones Falls. Those little falls were nothing compared to the falls. So here I am right above them. I'll be going down below in a minute. So there was in fact a very nice little campsite right where I was planning to camp originally, at the confluence of Doyle's Run and Jones Run, which is at the very bottom. I'm now going up for the rest of the day, up Doyle's Run here. So I should be hitting Doyle's Run Falls in the not too distant future. So much for roughing it across the slippery rocks, and I guess they don't want people falling down down that. It's probably a good call. Yeah, if you were crossing right here, right on those slippery rocks, whee! That might hurt. Guess I found Doyle's Falls. They're kind of loud. Okay, in case it wasn't clear that that was the falls. But I guess there's an upper falls as well. What kind of a glacier do you think dropped that sucker? Right up here at the top of the falls. That is a serious paperweight. So you think I should be worried? Standing underneath this humongous hunk of rock that is teetering right there. I'm gonna move along. I guess these would be the upper falls. Alright, another 9/10 of a mile up that way, and I get back to the Appalachian Trail, hang a left for a tiny little bit, and then hang a right onto Big Run Loop Trail, heading over to Big Run. Apparently I'm making friends. Like a giant salt lick or something. Finally made it up that endless uphill of the Doyle's Run trail. Now I'm on a little tiny stretch southbound on the Appalachian Trail. Remember when I said I was turning southbound on the Appalachian Trail for a little bit to get to the Big Run Loop Trail? Well, nothing like adding a little extra mileage for no good reason. I was never supposed to get on the Appalachian Trail, so now I'm doubling back. I was supposed to just go right up to the parking lot and walk straight across the Skyline Drive to pick up the trail there. So, luckily this was a fairly flat stretch and didn't put me out too much. Yep, doubled back, made it to the overlook, and the trailhead's up ahead. A little overgrown, so can't really see the overlook too well. On the west side of Skyline Drive, has a totally different feel. I guess this side is the wilderness area. It feels less traveled, but it's all mountain laurel on this side, whereas it's not on the other side. It's kind of interesting how it's just sort of different on either side of the highway. It's so quiet back here on this trail that I'm pretty sure if I'm going to find some wildlife, this is where it's going to be. I'm actually wondering about this right here. Somebody ripped all this moss off this rock. Maybe looking for grubs. Don't know. Haven't seen any scat or anything on the trail here, but we shall see. I think this is easily my favorite stretch of forest of this entire trip so far. I just like the light, I like the flora, I like the isolation, I like the smell. And I think I found water. Yes, I have. But I'm going to keep going. So I haven't hit the trail junction yet with the actual Big Run Trail, so further on. It's so quiet on this trail. Well, I finally reached the bottom. I don't know if this is Big Run, I'm assuming maybe, I don't know, haven't seen the trail junction yet, but it's definitely a water source. Well, made it to the trail junction. Good thing somebody was smart enough to bring a spare pair of glasses, because I just realized I lost my glasses somewhere back there. Oh well. Good thing I got a spare. I'll order another pair when I get home so that I still have a spare. Hopefully I won't lose these ones, because I'm going to have a rough time using my little magnifying glass on my compass. Is the only way I'll be able to see anything. So, okay, I've officially got my bearings, keeping with the rule that you can only get lost once per day. That's our direction. We're off that way. So Big Run Trail, Yellow Blaze. It's another old Jeep trail. Obviously not as well traveled as Payne's Run was, because it's just a little foot track in the middle here. Well, just found a really nice campsite right on the water, but somebody else beat me to it and they were setting up camp right now, so at least I know whose footprints I was following, and hopefully there will be another equally nice campsite up ahead here. Well, that was a refreshing crossing. There was no getting across that one dry. So now I'm on the other side. Let's see what this side holds. Alright, I think I found home for the night. It's like up a little rise from the trail over there and the river's down there. There's a big established campsite here. And I think I have found my spot to hang all the way back in here.
Day 4, hiked the rest of the way of Jones Run to the confluence of Jones and Doyle's Run, then hiked up Doyle's Run, up past Doyle's Run's upper and lower falls. Made a mistake and did a little piece of the southbound Appalachian Trail when really I was just supposed to go across Skyline Drive and then get onto Big Run Loop Trail down to Big Run, and then hiked a little piece of Big Run till I found my campsite.
Well, it is, I guess, day 5. I'm losing track at this point. It is Tuesday. It is election day, so it is, I guess, May 16th. Just sent Deb a little text message saying happy election day. I'd normally be working the polls with her today, but obviously I'm here. So I sent in my absentee ballot. Hopefully that got there. And sounds like she did a great job getting staffing for every day, so, or for the day. So I don't think she'll have to spend too much time there besides opening and closing. Anyway, I am continuing my theme of very cold at night. Actually felt colder here than probably every night since the first night. The first night was the coldest, but it's still cold. It really starts getting down around 2 in the morning. And this has been a very moist site too. My hammock was kind of dewy and wet, but feeling pretty good. Had a lot of pain when I first went to bed. I didn't feel like taking any drugs though. It's just kind of pig-headed that way. Took a while to kind of settle down my hip and knee and get myself bundled as best I can with this incorrect bag for the season, but I managed. I'm going to try and get some more food in me this morning, since I'm still not having much luck getting food in me, but the ramen worked really well last night. That seemed to go down easy, and I might actually do a ramen for breakfast. What the hell? Get a bunch of nice noodly calories into me at the beginning of the day here. So, alright, I'm going to emerge from my little cocoon here. I'm going to repeat that I'm definitely going to get an underquilt. I used to make fun of people with the underquilts. Oh, come on, the pad's fine. Look, this is what happens. The pad squishes out from underneath you, and then you're sitting on a total cold spot. So, underquilt, probably good technology.
Keeping with my tradition of very late starts. Hey, by the way, like my ear flaps, there's clouds of these little bugs that just don't bite. They just swarm your head and they want to crawl inside your ears and your eyes if you give them a chance. So my ear flaps are my solution to that. Anyway, I have packed up my camp. I don't know if you can see these guys on camera, but I have like a swarm around my head. They're not doing anything. They're just my entourage. They follow me wherever I go. Whether it's the bug spray or what, they don't bite, so I'm going to consider myself lucky. I was worried they were black flies. They look sort of like black flies, but they're not black flies, because I'd be bleeding by now. Well, this is a lovely little trail. It's just a nice little afternoon stroll along the banks of Big Run. I had to wade across already up to almost my knees at one point, because there was no rock hopping on that jaunt. Another reason I'm really glad that I switched to trail runners and good socks. Now I just got to try not to fall and drop the camera into the water, because the rocks are kind of slippery. In fact, I'm going to stop being foolish here midstream, and I'm going to put the camera away. Bye. Okay, so sometimes the trail is just a little bit rocky, and a little while ago I didn't shoot it, but sometimes the trail becomes part of Big Run, and you just walk along in the water. I think that's where all these rocks come from. This is just the bed of an occasional runoff river, depending on the rain. That's better. That was rocky. My entourage remains with me. I'm a little mystified on a Darwinian basis what the purpose of this is, since they're expending all this energy flying around my head, coming with me wherever I'm going, and they don't seem to be getting much out of it. So if anyone's got a sense of what that's all about, let me know. It's all obviously burned at some point. Lots of evidence of down burned trees. Maybe that's why they say no fires. Maybe they've had enough of those fires. I just passed a guy heading in the opposite direction on the trail. He was waving his bandana. I said, "Oh, you got a cloud of these things too." He's like, "Oh, I'll tell you." I'm seeing so little wildlife on this trip that I feel obligated to document that which I find. Hey, little guy, you're about the most exciting creature so far on the trail. So I've arrived at the confluence of Rocky Mountain Run and Big Run. So this is Big Run, which I've been coming along all along here, and this the trail is right here, but this comes out right here at Rocky Mountain Run, which I now have to wade across because the trail picks up over there, and there should be a trail junction right up ahead there with the break off for Rocky Mountain Trail, at which point I will have to make some decisions about going with the original plan or going with modification of the plan. Not sure yet. I gotta decide in a couple of minutes. Alright, so here's the decision-making point. I am right here at the juncture between Big Run here and Rocky Mountain Run. My original plan was to go all the way up, all the way over, and camp down here near Big Run Portal. Or I could just go the 1.5 miles up here. And here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I'm going to go the 1.5 miles up this way, find a place to drop and set up camp, see what time it is, because it's 2 o'clock now. I should have enough time, if I drop my pack and just use a day pack with some water, to at least go up and summit and back, or depending on time, go all the way around and come all the way back. So that's my modification. I'm going to head all the way down to Big Run Portal, find a campsite, and then decide on how far I go on a day hike with less weight on my back. Seriously, who blazed this trail? Had to be somebody who sells water shoes or something. I've lost count on how many crossings this is. See, I'm down here at river level. That other trail, it goes up there. Which is why I really didn't want to do it with a full load. Now I'm wondering if I want to do it at all. Well, I'm going to scout out a little further ahead, but this might be my camp for the night. Look at that, right on the water. Established campsite. I should be able to hang between those two trees right there. Alright, so it's a little bit of a walk, maybe 5 minutes up to here. There's the bridge. So, Brown Mountain Trail up to the right. Rocky Top Trail 1/2 mile to the left. Big Run Portal to the left. This is unmarked. I'm guessing this is a campsite, because if this is a good campsite, then I will move my pack down here, because this would be kind of ideal positioning. Yep. Here's one campsite, which I could... Ooh, that's nice. Alright, I might have to come back here. Oh, of course, this is the other thing I thought might happen, is that by the time I got all set up in this place, I mean, this is like so beautiful here. This is definitely my favorite campsite of the entire trip. I got my own little pond here, which I am about to go take a swim in. I've got my hammock hanging right off the water here. I got my gear exploded over there and over here, but I'll clean up shortly. But it's already 3:30. By the time I get everything set up here, there's really not enough time to go up the Brown Mountain Trail. And honestly, I feel like taking it easy. I feel like actually doing a little camping and sitting here and taking a little swim in my pool, rinse off. Well, I think this is actually going to be my last night out here in Shenandoah. Bugs are still not biting me. I just am wearing the head net because it's just, they're so annoying. They're just in my face. So I had a very nice dinner on my beach here. I'm really enjoying my campsite here, but I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to hike out all the way to the car. Should be about a 9-mile hike. A lot of up and down, but it's up and over the ridge. We obviously cut out the optional loop that I had built into the trip, which was Brown Mountain Trail and Rocky Mountain Run Trail. That was the loop that I was going to do today, but I didn't get as far down here to camp as I had planned last night. So anyway, things got pushed back, and then today was a day of leisure and rest, and I think I earned it. So it's my vacation. What the hell? Yeah, this ain't too shabby. I'm sitting here feeding my solo stove on the beach, keeping it happy. Yep. So yeah, I went to get the camera and I almost let it die. Actually, I've only had it die once, and even then, all you have to do is blow on it and you get a roaring set of flames. And if you keep a couple of pine twigs around, then you can make it really blow up into flame, but your pot gets all sooty. But yeah, so, you know, dinner in front of my pool. Some big fish jumped out of there earlier. I know people go fishing on Big Run. Kind of having a second dinner. I'm forcing myself to eat more. I mean, this is ridiculous. Look, I mean, this entire bag is coming home with me. That was supposed to be a well-planned out set of meals for a 6-day hike. I budgeted 2,600 calories a day. I mean, I'm gonna have to do a count when I get home, but I mean, this is crazy. I've barely made a dent in this. I've been lugging all this weight around for no reason whatsoever because I've had no appetite. So I'm making myself eat. I had a mountain house, my favorite mountain house, which is the chicken teriyaki with rice. But I'm giving myself another ramen. Had ramen for breakfast, having ramen for second dinner. This has been my view for the last few hours. I just want to commemorate it. This place is awesome.
So on day 5, from my campsite along Big Run, hiked along Big Run, got to my decision point here where I had originally planned to go up Rocky Mountain Trail, up and over Brown Mountain Trail, and then come down to Big Run Portal. But instead, I just went straight shot up Big Run Trail to the portal and camped there where I found kind of a cool site. Thought about going up a day hike to the summit of Brown Mountain and Rocky Mountain, but ended up laying low at the campsite and just having a relaxing time of it.
Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is about 8:30 in the morning. Gonna whip up some breakfast, finish breaking down camp, and get on the road. Got a long ways to go. Alright, well, it's a couple of minutes before 11, which is right on time for me for a 10 o'clock departure. For those of you who know me, I have cleared camp and left no trace, including picking up the last person's trash of the extra soap bottle. And it is 75 degrees. It is Wednesday. I've got a long haul up and over that mountain. I don't think you can really see it through the trees there, but I got to climb a mountain, run a ridge, and descend a mountain. It's going to be a fun day. I'm going to see if I can do it all in one shot and make it to the car at a reasonable time. If I do, then I will call ahead and find myself a hotel room. I got the ear flaps going again because my entourage is apparently with me again today. I'm back on the steel bridge here, but up there is where I'm going. Rocky Top Trail. I got to climb up to there, and then I got to run that ridge for quite a ways till I get to Austin Mountain, and then take Austin Mountain Trail down to the Madison Run Fire Road, and that is when I will hopefully have a car waiting for me. All right, I have reached the next signpost, so heading over toward Lewis Peak Trail, which I was going to do and then camp at before, but I think I'm going all the way to Austin Mountain Trail, which is 5.3. So off we go. Apparently a trail that's a little bit less traveled, back to a very narrow track through some very pretty flora. It's pretty cool. This is the densest of anywhere I've been so far in Shenandoah. All very low, young growth though. I wonder if this is all burned out and it's all growing back. I don't know. But it is quite thick and dense and steep. I'm blanking on the name of that other mountain range on the other side there. If I'm energetic, I'll put it up as a title when I look at the map. It's hot today. I'm cooking, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at all these flowers. My whole trail is nothing but flowers. You know, different time of year. I believe these are all berries. That would be when the bears are on the trail. These would be all berries. Reminds me a lot of the Catskills, and Lake Minnewaska has that same kind of fauna, or I mean flora kind of feel. Even smells the same. Kind of interesting. But these would be all berries. Wouldn't mind if there were some now. Wouldn't mind seeing a bear, but no bears today so far on this trip. Well, first off, there's my proof of my theory that this is all densely grown because it all having burned. Because that sucker's charred all the way to the top. That, and obviously, the higher I go, the bigger the vista gets. I know it's redundant, but you're getting to see it unfold the same way I do. And the answer to the trivia question, that other peak across the way there is Massanutten Peak. I've made it around Rocky Top. You don't actually summit Rocky Top. The trail sort of circles around it, but I'm onto the ridge now because you can't see it real well, but that's the interior vista, and then that's back out to the Shenandoah Valley. So now I'll just walk the spine for a while. Well, Rocky Top Trail is all exposure. Lots of sun today. Good thing I put my sunscreen on before I left. It is a rocky trail. I don't know if that's why they call it Rocky Top, but I don't know if the summit is rocky. Probably is, but it doesn't seem like that could possibly compare to Black Rock, because that was a rocky top. This, all right, sure, there's rocks up there, but I don't think it's quite like the pile of rocks sitting on Black Rock Summit was. But I kind of like this trail. You know, it's a little hot and sunny. So I finally peaked out on elevation and reached some level ground here. If we get a view through these trees in a second here, I'll show you the Lewis Peak that I was going to camp on tonight originally. That's the plan that's sort of changing. Yeah, that's Lewis Peak up there. So this trail will wrap around and then come around to the right. And then there's a summit trail that goes up there, and there's a campsite up on top there. The problem all along with this plan for this day, whoops, sorry about that. Problem with this plan for this day was that there's no water sources at these elevated sites. So if I were to camp up on Lewis Peak, I'd have to set up camp, and then I'd have to hike all the way down the other direction, dropping all that elevation in about 1.5 miles to get to a water source, and then lug that water all the way back up there for my camp for the night. And honestly, I don't feel like it. So now this is actually sort of interesting. I read about this on a blog site. So these are fossils of some kind of worm tunnels or something like that. I got to look it up again, but up here on Rocky Top, the rocks are all grooved like this from some ancient seabed many, many moons ago, if I understand the story right. Once again, I'll point out these are all going to be berries. Look at all those little flowers on there. This is going to be some good eating later in the season. That's my one disappointment on this trip. Probably the wrong time of year. I gotta come back during berry season if I want to see a bear, but not a single bear. I was kind of counting on that here in Shenandoah. Haven't even seen a deer. The biggest creature I think I've seen is the grouse that I flushed out one day. So I've seen bear scat. I know they're here. I've seen fox scat. I know they're here too. But I saw deer footprints in the mud a couple of days ago. So, I mean, they're here. And I actually crossed a lady on the trail who said she saw some deer. But me, I'm not seeing much wildlife. Maybe because I'm talking to you all the time. Maybe you're keeping them all scared away. All right. Onward. Just to accentuate the fact that this was once a seabed, I'm walking on sand. It's pretty wild. Hey, look, it's my rescue chopper. They're looking for me. Hope not. Guess this is what they meant when they said this was the most remote area of the park. I don't think this gets traveled all that heavily. It's kind of dense in here, which I like now. I may have spoken too soon. Something went crashing through the brush back there, but it's so dense I couldn't tell you what the heck it was. It was fairly large, but I'm guessing deer more likely than bear, just by the sound of it. Don't know. But anyway, thought I'd share this with you. It's kind of cool. You know, you're so gullible to believe me before when I was telling you all that nonsense about Lewis Peak. I wasn't really where I thought I was. I was being optimistic about how far I had traveled. But that's Lewis Peak now. Confirmed by GPS. I was one valley too soon here. But that's a pretty cool vista from here. I'm just taking a little break. There's actually a campsite a little ways back there, which is kind of a weird place to camp. I'm perched a little precariously. Don't tell my wife. I guess it would be bad to fall. But hey, I've got $100,000 of emergency rescue insurance, so who's counting? You know, I'm riding it like a horse. Come on, I can't fall. I'm just gonna hang out here for a little while though, because that's what it's all about. Hard work to get here, but this that's a view I'm gonna enjoy for a while. These rock fields have such a those. I'm on one of these. They make such an interesting sound when you walk across them. There's something kind of otherworldly about stepping out of the woods onto just a field of stone like this. It's a big one. And it goes all the way down. Quite a ways. Kind of like its sibling over there on Lewis Peak. All these little pines growing up amidst the charred remains of their ancestors. All these needles, they make a cool crunching sound. Well, I gotta tell you, that was the longest 3.5 miles of my freaking life. Because I don't understand how this is possible, but it's almost 3 o'clock. That means I was doing less than a mile an hour up all that elevation. Now, in fairness to me, I will say that my Fitbit says that was 128 flights of stairs in elevation. But now it's 1.8 miles to Austin Mountain Trail. And then it's another 3 point something from there to Madison Run. So I got a long ways to go. I'm very short on water. There are no water sources up here, so I got to keep going. I'm not going to, well, this was the original plan, was to go to Lewis Peak Trail, and then I would still have to hike 2.6 miles from here to get to the next water source, which is practically at the park boundary. But we're heading this way, 1.8 miles Austin Trail. Let's hope it's flat and that I can hoof it pretty quick, because I'm way behind schedule if it's 3 o'clock already. This stretch is pretty cool though. It's all grassy. Apparently not a ton of traffic this way. Right on the ridge, the spine. You got views out that side. You got views out that side. And nothing but grass ahead. Alright, so I'm going to drop my pack here. Take a little rest. Force myself to put some calories in me. Drink what's left of my water. It's 3.2 miles down now to Madison Run. So, should be straight friggin' down from here. And that should be Furnace Mountain. And that is probably the overlook where I had breakfast on Saturday morning, looking this way. I will be very glad to get to some water. I have salt in my eyes now. I am very, very tired, but very happy. I know, it's hard to make sense of these things. Some calories will be good, and a big greasy cheeseburger is on the menu tonight, as soon as I recover. Little guy. First snake I've seen. I don't know where Mom is. Oh, thank God. There's the road. Water's on the other side. I am so thirsty. I'm not gonna lie, that last 3.5 miles without any water was not easy. By the time I got to the bottom, I thought I was just walking like a drunk person. And then I dropped my pack and made a beeline for the Madison Run. Filled up my 2-liter bladder. and actually just sucked down an entire liter right then and there. And I could probably drink more, but I'm gonna wait until I get to the car. So I'm walking down the fire road now. Forget how long it is, maybe half a mile. And then I'll come on the left to where I started, Furnace Trail Junction. And then just past the chain at the end of the drive where I hope to find an orange car. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe this is where we began. Almost this exact time of day on Friday. It is now Wednesday, and I just came down Austin Mountain Trail, and my chain link is there. A little bit further, we'll see if there's a car. Sight for sore eyes, peeking out of the woods there. Other people are parked here, but that's my orange mobile, right where I left it.
So the original day 6 plan had been to hike along Rocky Top Mountain Trail up to Lewis Peak Trail, hike up Lewis Peak Trail, set up camp on Lewis Peak, and then hike down to the water source and then back up to the peak. Well, I was tired. I didn't feel like doing that. So instead, day 6 ended up being the final hike out. From Big Run Portal, came up Rocky Top Mountain Trail all the way to the intersection with Austin Mountain Trail, then hiked Austin Mountain Trail all the way down to Madison Run Fire Road, and then out the fire road and back to the parked car.